real therapists,
fake therapy.
In our last session, Ali, I diagnosed your anxiety, overviewed anxiety treatment, and gave you homework to monitor your anxiety symptoms. How'd it go?
I didn't do it.
Cool.
What?
We have to think like scientists, gather data about how your anxiety works, develop hypotheses, and then test them out. Not doing your homework is important data. Understanding your setbacks is just as important as understanding your success.
That's the best response I've ever received to not doing my homework.
Let's go back to the beginning. In our last session, I gave you this homework assignment to monitor your anxiety symptoms. What happened next?
I didn't do it.
Did you forget about it?
No, it was always on my mind.
When it was on your mind, what thoughts were coming up?
I have to do this thing and I don't want to do it.
What did you think would happen if you started to monitor your anxiety?
If I'd had known I'd be interrogated like this, I would have just done the homework.
I know how annoying my therapist questions can be, and at the same time, I think we're getting somewhere. I'm curious, have you noticed any changes inside of you as we started talking about this?
Yeah, actually, I got hot.
How are you experiencing that heat?
All over my chest.
Notice anything else going on in there?
My heart is beating really quickly.
Heat, racing heart, anything else going on inside of you?
I just started sweating.
What's going on in your head right now?
I want to change the subject.
Got it. You want this conversation to stop. Anything else you feel compelled to do?
Leave.
Your body is activated, you want to avoid this conversation, and you wish you could get out of this room. If you had to label this experience, what would you call it?
Anxiety, Dr. Mattu.
0 to 100%, how similar is this anxiety to the experience you had when you thought about doing the homework?
About 80%.
We've made an important discovery here. There's something about focusing on your anxiety that makes you anxious. What are you afraid might happen if you focus in on your anxiety?
I don't like doing this. I didn't tell you this last week, but that whole evaluation, the more questions you asked me about my anxiety, the worse I felt.
For you, thinking about your anxiety feels dangerous because you're afraid it's going to make your anxiety worse. That's called a metacognitive belief.
Metacognitive? That sounds like something out of a comic book.
No, it's way less cool than that. Metacognitive beliefs are just the beliefs you have about your own thinking.
Like thinking about my anxiety makes it worse.
Exactly. Let's put it all together. I gave you an assignment to monitor your anxiety. You believe that focusing in on your anxiety makes things worse. So you didn't do it.
Is this like really bizarre?
Actually, it's totally common, makes complete sense.
I just felt like I was in a pitch meeting for a second.
A lot of people worry that if you focus in on your anxiety, it might make things worse, so they avoid doing that. And, I would avoid it too if I believed it as strongly as you do.
Doesn't this cognitive behavioral therapy require me to actually be able to think about my anxiety? I mean, if I can't do that, am I just screwed?
No, I don't believe in a no-win scenario.
James T. Kirk, Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan?
Yes, he's the best.
So what can we do about all this, Dr. Mattu?
The first step to overcoming your anxiety is understanding how your anxiety works, something therapists call psychoeducation.
Psychoeducation?
Yeah, it's me teaching you about anxiety.
Isn't that just education?
Yeah, but if I call it psychoeducation, it sounds a lot fancier, makes me feel better about all the years I spent in school, and helps me to rationalize all the student debt I've accumulated.
Gotcha. So, how do we do that?
We already started it by helping you to describe the anxiety you were experiencing today. The better you get at that, at labeling these internal experiences, the easier it's going to become to manage your anxiety.
Cool. So, what else do I need to know about anxiety?
Anxiety will push you towards or away from something. This is called the fight or flight response.
Wait, what?
The fight or flight response transforms your body to face a threat, prepare for an important situation, or escape to safety.
So when I avoided my homework, that was fight or flight?
Exactly. Your mind saw the homework as a threat. It activated your body's sympathetic nervous system, you avoided the homework, and felt safer as a result.
I'm guessing this isn't supposed to happen with therapy homework assignments.
No, it's not. Fight or flight is great when you're facing a real danger or an important event, but people who struggle with anxiety associate danger with everyday situations. Fight or flight is just activated too often.
I am not a fan of fight or flight.
Fight or flight is actually pretty cool. Think of it as rocket fuel pumping in your body that helps you to run faster, jump higher, and fight harder.
Hey, didn't you get that from an episode of Doctor Who?
Yeah, I'd show you the clip, but you know, YouTube and copyrights.
But wouldn't it be fair use because this is an educational video?
Yeah, it is, but the company owning that content could still force YouTube to take this video down, and then we'd have to redo this whole session.
Oh, okay, that makes no sense. So what other powers does anxiety give me?
It helps you freeze.
Isn't that why deers get run over by cars?
Well, yeah, but freezing in the face of danger can be super helpful. A lot of animals avoid getting eaten because they play dead. And for humans, freezing can often keep a situation from becoming worse.
Oh, like when I'm on the subway and something super weird is happening and I pretend I don't notice it at all.
Yeah, New Yorkers are experts at the freeze response. We've learned that sometimes doing nothing is better than doing something.
Fight, flight, freeze. Anything else?
Tend and befriend.
Never heard of it.
It's one of the newest discoveries about anxiety. Sometimes when there's danger, anxiety will push us to help those around us and work together to overcome that danger. Like parents protecting their kids when there's a threat nearby.
They should make a movie about all the different ways we experience anxiety.
They already did. In Star Wars The Last Jedi, Poe is like, I'm gonna fight and blow up all these bad guys, and Leia's like, no, don't do that. We need to tend and befriend each other so the resistance can survive. And meanwhile, Finn is like, yo, this is really dangerous. I'm gonna fly on out of here. And then Luke is on that island all freezing up and hanging out with the porgs. And then meanwhile, Rey is like, why am I the most mentally healthy person in this whole film?
I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, after the movie was attacked by Russian trolls and politicized for being too liberal, the quality of the conversation around it really plummeted.
Last session you told me there's no way to get rid of my anxiety, and now I'm beginning to understand why I need it to survive, but I'm still experiencing a lot of anxiety. So what do we do next?
I know it's hard for you to focus on your anxiety symptoms, and that's something we're going to tackle in our next session. In the meantime, I want you to monitor the things you do to make yourself feel just a little bit safer. We call those safety behaviors.
Okay, like what?
Avoiding going to a certain place because you're worried it might make you anxious. Avoiding doing certain things that might get your body activated, like drinking caffeine. Safety signals, like needing certain people near you. Or things like distractions, listening to a podcast, music, watching TV, stuff like that.
This I can totally do.
Thanks for checking out episode number 2 of Real Therapist Fake Therapy. Be sure to watch episode number 1 to understand what a first anxiety therapy session looks like. And for a full version of this session, to understand a lot more about psychoeducation related to anxiety, check out my Patreon. And I also want to thank my newest patron, Denise J. Thank you for supporting the Psych Show. Let me know in the comments what you'd like me to cover on a future session of Real Therapist Fake Therapy. And if you want more psychology videos that are fun and easy to understand and celebrate mental health, be sure to subscribe to the Psych Show.